Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nina Nicole. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was not in the headspace to record today. I did not feel like recording. I didn't feel like editing. I didn't feel like doing a damn thing today. But I was like, you know what? I need to still show up. I need to still show up for myself, despite how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling. I was supposed to record last weekend. Wasn't in the headspace last weekend, but now that I'm on to a new weekend and trying to get back into the flow, into the rhythm of me just making sure that I am not only taking care of myself, but also following through on projects. And that's been such a difficult thing for me as of late. It's just staying motivated. And I feel like a lot of people have been feeling very unmotivated as of lately. And it's very important that despite the things that are going on, and it's easier said than done, but despite the things that are going on, you still have to show up for yourself. And that's really tough to do. I think for me, my struggles have been not only not sleeping, because my sleep has been trash for the past like week and a half, but I think another thing that I've been learning to work on within myself is allowing myself to feel what I need to feel, but then bouncing back and getting back into a rhythm. And again, it's hard to do, in these times that we're living in. Learning how to force and push yourself like that is the ultimate form of discipline. Despite things that are happening, do you have discipline to still show up for yourself? And that's something that I've definitely been learning. Motivation as of this past week, what I've been learning is a balance. And although needing rest is very essential and it's a necessity, especially when you're trying to accomplish certain things, but needing rest but then also continuing to show up for yourself has definitely been something that's been challenging for me. Learning is to try to um, not so much of be like Delulu, but learning how to just separate my energy, when I need to hone in on my energy and when I need to express myself and feel a level of motivation. Working on myself and making sure that I'm showing up for myself despite the things that are going on. Being able to still get up and still put in the effort. I think that's the ultimate form of just self love and discipline, is like when you can still keep fighting, even keep fighting, even if you're just completely exhausted. My form of not only discipline but resistance is to keep showing up for myself and to feel joy and to be happy and to feel motivated. And so that's one thing, or a couple of things that I've struggled with for the past, couple months, but really past week, is still showing up for myself. And I need myself to show up for myself. I can't allow um, whatever is going on to dictate my happiness, my joy, my discipline, and my motivation. And it's okay, if you're not feeling motivated, or if you're feeling a lack of discipline or a lack of energy. Just know that, you have yourself at the end of the day. What can you do moving forward in order to help yourself grow and feel love and feel creative and feel all of these things? I think sometimes when there are big things that are happening or big distractions or negative things that are happening in the world, it it really does take effect on mental health, physical health, psychological health, social health, spiritual health. And so some things that I've been learning is to keep a balance. Like, it is okay to feel unmotivated, but how do you bounce back afterwards? How do you start to feel more into yourself? Even today, like, I was just not in the headspace to record. I was actually supposed to record yesterday, Saturday. Um, but it was just the lack of motivation that I was feeling. And so today I was really fighting with myself, because part of me was like, oh, just get back in the bed. Like, it's fine. You can record during the week. But knowing me, I have a tendency of procrastinating. And so I know if I don't get things done now, it's not going to get done. And so because I know that I also, quote unquote, suffer from procrastination, I really had to take it upon myself to just be like, you know what? No, I'm going to record today. Like, I don't care what's going on. I don't care how I'm feeling. I'm going to record today. And so I think what also helped me kind of get into that energy, into the groove of things is, listening to music, positive music, like frequency music, and really just feeling myself up with love and joy as I'm about to approach working and content creating and recording. And so sometimes you just have to get yourself out of a funk, and it's easier said than done. Literally this morning, I did not want to get out of bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. I don't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. It's been a tough task trying to keep a balance of resting, but also still showing up for myself. And you can do both, allow yourself to do both, but also know when it's time for you to get moving. I'm also learning to find the joys in the little things. So I love to cook and I love to bake, and I like to just make my own foods, make my own little like sorbets and juices, and make my own bread, and just did stuff that I know that is going to be fulfilling to my health, not only my physical health but my mental health too. So while I'm in the kitchen, I was just having a good time. And so sometimes even your motivation can stem from doing something that might be small or might be minor, but that can really propel you to tap more into your self discipline and your motivation when you start to do little things at a time. And I've talked about it before when it comes to working on yourself. Is it's nice to work on yourself in bits and pieces. And what I mean by that is like starting off with one thing at a time. I think sometimes when we try to take on too many tasks at once, it can be overwhelming, and also can kind of mess up your motivation because you're like, okay, where do I start? And so when you have just a particular point of where you start, you get through it, you finish it, and then you get on to something else. And I think that also kind of correlates to the many hobbies and tasks and things that I like to do for fun. I sometimes have a hard time trying to decide what I want to do because I'm a well-rounded person. I like to do multiple things, and so even when it comes to content creation, I'm learning that I don't want to be in a specific niche per se. I want to do what I want to do when it comes to content creation, what I love to do. When it comes to motivation, but then also content creation, I'm just learning that I don't want to put myself in a box or in a bubble of one particular niche. Like I am a niche because I have so many well-rounded things that I like to do. And so that's another thing I think I've been struggling with when it comes to the lack of motivation, but then also wanting to create is okay, so where do I go from here? Is again, it's just continuing to do the things that you love to do and not allow the world to stop you in your tracks despite the things that are going on. It's important for you to keep moving and to keep pushing. Another thing I think too that has kind of been affecting some of my motivation is thinking so much. I've been thinking so much about my future, about where I'm at right now, specifically my future though, because the future is ever changing. And so, although the future doesn't exist just yet, I have been really just thinking so much about what can I do right now in order for me to better prepare myself for the future. Despite how tired you are, despite, feeling the lack of motivation, you should still want to show up for yourself and prove yourself wrong. I think sometimes when, if we allow people or the things that we're going through or the world, whatever the case may be, when we allow those things to affect us, um, it can really play out on how we show up for ourselves or how we don't show up for ourselves. And so today, like I said, I mean, I'm still not in the headspace to record, but I'm recording. So I'm still following through, even if I don't feel like it. And I think that's such a powerful thing to do. Like, despite not feeling like it, I'm still sitting in front of a camera. I'm still talking to you. I'm still trying to get the message across about the things that I've been going through. So I think it's really rewarding. And when I start editing, I'm going to feel rewarded because I'm like, okay, I actually filmed a video today. I actually recorded today. And so it's really I think what has helped the most when it comes to the lack of motivation is knowing that of how rewarding it's going to be once I'm done doing what I'm doing. So recording or content creation or doing whatever it is that you like to do. Just think about how you're going to feel once you have finished your project or completed your project. Like right now, you may not feel like it, and that's okay. But think about the future of it. Like, how are you going to feel? Let's just say, put it into two perspectives. How are you going to feel knowing that you didn't complete your project when you wanted to? But then how are you also going to feel when you know that you've completed it despite feeling how you were feeling? I think that's what helps me too with motivation is knowing that, you know what, my future self in a couple of minutes, she's going to feel very rewarded and feel very accomplished because she's like, hey, you know, we did this despite feeling tired, despite feeling unmotivated, despite feeling just mentally exhausted. We still showed up and we still did what we needed to do. Sometimes you have to kind of look at it in that perspective of, okay, I don't feel like doing a damn thing right now because I am not feeling motivated. I'm not feeling up to it. I'm exhausted. You know, it's the weekend. I don't want to do anything. Totally fine. But also think about those moments of, okay, I really want to get this done. So how am I going to feel if I don't do it versus when I do it? And so it's really rewarding when you kind of take into consideration or perspective like that. And so, and two, sometimes like with certain tasks, like they only take a few minutes out of your day, but when you feel unmotivated, it feels so daunting to get certain things done. Like it could take 15 minutes. Like for instance, this video is probably going to be about 15-20 minutes, but in the back of my head before I started recording, the tasks felt so daunting because I'm like, okay, how am I going to get this done? But I'm getting it done. Like I'm actually getting it done now. And so I think when it comes to your task, you really have to like have this mental tug of war with yourself of I don't feel like doing it, but it may only take you 20 minutes. It may only take you an hour, whatever the case may be. But it's like if you just get it done, if you show up for yourself, it might not take as long as you thought it was going to take, or it might not be as of a daunting task as you thought it was going to be. And so, really, just shifting your brain, just really shifting your brain. The times we're living in right now, uh, it will really prevent you from trying to be there for yourself, or it will make you feel exhausted a lot of times, so then that way you don't complete your task, you know. And so um I'm really grateful that my mindset is starting to shift a little bit. And so I think that's when you start to shift your creations and your projects and whatever it is that you do. I think when you really just take account and responsibility and show discipline, you know, for yourself, is like, I don't feel like doing it, but I'm still here. You know, I'm still doing what it is I need to do despite the obstacles. Um, and that's really powerful. It's a really powerful thing to do when you just have to force yourself sometimes. You know, there's no judgment if your brain decides, you know what, no, we're not going to do it today, and you truly don't feel like doing it. That's fine, totally fine. But also learn how to fight yourself on it, or not really fight yourself because it's a little, but learn how to show up for yourself. That's it. Ensuring that you're still taking care of yourself and doing what needs to be done. Um, just knowing it's okay. Every day is a process. Take it day by day, take it task by task, piece by piece, whatever, you know, however you decide to do it. But I think if you take little nibbles at things that you have to do, that would actually help you accomplish a lot more than if you just kind of take all of the tasks at once. Especially when you're not feeling motivated. You know, when you look at all the tasks that you have to do, that does feel very daunting. Write out your projects, write out your tasks, pick one thing at a time, and just do it. You know, even if you don't feel like it. Now, again, like, the balance is necessary. Balance is very much necessary, but also know when it's time for you to get back to work and get back into showing up for yourself. I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, it's just balance and motivating yourself even when you feel unmotivated, still doing, you know, your task even if you don't feel like it. Still accomplishing things, even when you don't feel like it. Still consider the balance because you still need rest. You know, don't overwork yourself. Feel like you have to get everything done. Oh my God, to get no. Take your time, but also know that you can't just sit on your creativity. You can't sit on your ideas. You can't sit on your project. But it was the feeling that I felt at the moment that didn't want me to, or I wasn't motivated, or I just wasn't in the mood. And so I think that's key, is just learning a balance of rest and discipline and still showing up for yourself. So, so yeah, that's pretty much the message I had today. And like I said, I did not feel like doing this, but I still showed up. But I was like, I'm gonna make this quick. I'm gonna make this quick. I'm gonna get the message out, so then that way I can still do what it is that I need to do for myself, and for the growth of my content. Because at the end of the day, this is my content that I want to get out, and so it's like nobody's gonna work for me to get my content and my projects out. I have to do that myself. So yeah, I just wanted to send that message out to anyone who needs it. Um, Try to feel motivated even when you don't. And in those moments when you're kind of fighting with your brain, think about the future. Think about, or not just the future, but think about the future of how you would feel if you get it done versus if you don't. That has helped me a lot. So if you take nothing else from this video, just think about how you are going to feel if you don't do your project or your content creation or whatever it is that you love to do and that you have been starting on this path to do. Think about how you feel when you get it done versus how you'll feel when you don't. And I think that is the best motivator for when you don't have motivation. So, thanks for watching. Bye.